I gotta show off these boots.
It's Ricky Rebel. Okay, seriously, how long does it take? A woman has to ask how long it takes to string up those boots.
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh, they're zippered. Thank God. Yeah,
oh,
there's
good.
zippers right
Okay,
here.
because that's
So,
more than a guitar. So,
right? You
okay,
love it? And it's
so,
got crocodile on the outside. I wore,
oh,
okay, this fabric right
yeah,
here is
yeah.
the same fabric that I wore at the Grammys. If you Google Ricky Rebel Grammys 2020,
Okay.
that's why I wrote impeach this on my butt.
And how did that go, by the way, in California
It was
at the Grammys?
it was more well received, believe it or not, than the Trump suit. The Trump suit, they were screaming at me. They were saying that I hope your babies die, and Trump hates your kind. So they were saying things like that to me. But they really liked impeach this. They got the joke, and they were like they liked it.
Well, they like the placement of your on your bottom.
Yeah,
Ah,
it made worldwide news. It was like in Sweden they were writing up about my butt. And I
okay,
was like,
so
oh
I
my
want to know
god.
about Ricky Rebel. Who the hell is Ricky Rebel anyway?
Wow, that's the second time I got asked that question in an interview today. I love that question. It's my favorite question. Who? Because the hardest question in the world, right?
Of course it is, especially in one quick soundbite. It's like,
Right.
really? In an
Well, who I
elevator
am.
pitch, who's Ricky Rebel?
Okay. Well, an elevator pitch. Ricky Rebel is a Billboard Top 40 recording artist who's toured with Britney Spears, discovered by Michael Jackson at a young age,
Wow, how
signed.
young?
I was, gosh, 16 when I first met Michael and when he signed me to his label.
Mhm.
And shortly after, we made a record with Michael's label. And then Madonna said she wanted to sign the pop group. It was a pop group called No Authority. She said, I want to sign those kids. And we ended up like signing with Madonna. That was like when I was like 18 or 19 years old. And we cut a pop record with Madonna's label, and they put us on tour with Britney Spears right
So
after
wait,
that.
at that time, are you even voting? Are you
I,
voting? Are you even into politics?
not at all. No, I didn't.
18, 19 years old?
I know I didn't. I didn't care about politics really. I didn't care about anything like that. I just cared about performing and singing and being on stage. And things changed over time.
So what's the change? That's where everybody wants to know. Like the aha Oprah moment.
The Oprah moment. Well, I was like living in LA my whole life in Hollywood. Can you close that door, please? I was living in LA, Hollywood, and it's very liberal out there. So it's almost like you're.
No.
I love you. I love you
Holy
already.
crap, seriously?
What? Are you serious? I mean, it's very liberal. So, in order to survive, you kind of have to be liberal in order to be in the industry. And I was very, that's how you put it, flamboyant, and they loved it. In 2014, I went solo around that time, 2010, 2014, and I became Ricky Rebel because I was rebelling against an industry. Even before that, they weren't into the LGBT thing at all. They said you could
Wow.
not. Yeah, they were saying you could do whatever you want in the closet, but in order to make it like you have to pretend like you're straight or do this, or we're not going to sign you. Believe it or not,
What?
90s. That's the 90s leading up to 2000s ish, mid 2000s. Okay, so that's what the industry was telling me. I had many people tell me, you're never going to make it because you're bisexual and you're open about it and you're too flamboyant, you're too feminine, so you're never going to make it. So that's what they would tell me.
Wow,
And
and
I
very
thought
liberal Hollywood. Hmm.
that was very liberal Hollywood, I'm telling you. And then so
I'm not surprised.
well, yeah, they're two-faced, they say one
Exactly.
thing, oh, we love you, Ricky, but you got to stay in the closet.
We love to
So
use you.
they love to use you, right? And then so what happened was like I rebelled and I became Ricky Rebel, and I
Mhm.
started to make music that I was feeling in my heart that I wanted to do, not being manufactured by producers and the labels and all this stuff. I wanted to do my own thing, what really came from my heart. And I was rebelling against an industry that told me I couldn't make it if I was honest about those things. So cut to 2015, I've been working and doing this thing, the Pride events, they all love Ricky Rebel and they're booking me and stuff, but they kept trying to get me to become more feminine. It was like never enough, right? It's like they all of a sudden, you put guy liner on, but they want sprinkles and they want the fake lashes and they want the wigs, and they're hiring drag queens more than Ricky Rebel. I'm like, what the hell? They're hiring. I got a full
How about
band.
just me? Yeah.
How about just me? How about let me be
Except
me?
me.
They're like, no, the drag queens get paid way more. We already hired drag queens. It's like they're obsessed. The gay community is obsessed with drag queens. And I have a theory about why they're obsessed with drag queens. It's because a lot of men, a lot of gay men, not all of them, I'm not going to say all of them, but subconsciously, I think there's this like chauvinistic nature about them. Chauvinism, where they say, look, we'll prop you up, we'll give you a platform if you tuck your penis between your legs. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense?
It does. It does, because women who are strong, like myself, someone who is in conservative news talk radio, this is a very male-dominated industry. I speak up, I speak out. I'm the first one of the day before Rush and Glenn and Sean Hannity and everybody else, and I get a lot of blowback. So yeah, I get it. They want me to tuck
they want you to
between
tuck
my
who
knees.
you are. Exactly. And
I get it.
Men are men, no matter what, even if they're gay. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're men and they're competitive. And
but like you, let me just say this, just like you, I have experienced men, conservative men who absolutely support me, love me. This station and this, my show is number one in this market. And it's because they embrace it. They embrace me. They love me, just like you.
Right. Exactly. I love you for who you are. I know,
yes.
I'm not looking at your gender or your skin color or your sexuality or anything.
But when you're a threat within an industry is what I was trying to get to. I absolutely understand.
Is that what that is? Because you're a threat.
You were a threat in an industry that you went against the status quo.
That's right. I said, hey, I'm a man. I like makeup. I'm all man, all male every day. And they're like, what? You're not all, you're non-binary. And my agent tried to tell me, he's like, Ricky, if you just say you're non-binary, you'll get the cover of the magazine.
But why do I need to be anything other than what I am?
I'm just an artist. I'm like, dude, I'm just an artist. I like Bowie, and remember Bowie and remember Prince.
Let me
and all these
perform.
Things?
Let me be
Let
happy.
me perform. Let me be me. So I started studying. I started writing an album called The New Alpha, and it's available on Spotify and iTunes, everything. And I started developing my own sense of empowerment, because I want to develop my own inner alpha. Like what is an alpha to me? Because I like all these flamboyant things, but I know there's a side of me that really is strong and doesn't take any crap. I'm like, I want to build that up. I want to expand that energy within me. So I started studying Trump. I started listening to his speeches. I started watching him, very closely.
Boy, does he personify the inner and outer alpha.
He is the quintessential alpha, right? Like when you think of an alpha, you think of President Trump. He is he is an alpha.
But you nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. The inner alpha, whether you're a male or female or no matter what.
Right. No matter what.
He totally hits on that cylinder, no matter who you are. It's that person who's like, I'm not putting up with your crap.
I'm not putting up with your shit. And I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm going to tell you. And I realized, like, what is an alpha? An alpha is someone who's not afraid to tell the truth. Someone who is not afraid to come out and just say, hey, this is who I am. And so that's why I decided to go to the Grammys. And this is when one of my life changing moments is when I worked with Andre Soriano on the Trump Keep America Great Again suit. And I walked in and I, unveiled it. I opened it up and this like crazy firestorm of like energy, like hatred and just crazy and love, lots of love too. And it changed my life in a way. I got a lot of new supporters, and they just couldn't fathom that an LGBT person in the community could love Trump. But I really do. Like a lot of people were thinking that, I'm faking it for money or whatever. It's like, no, dude, I like alphas. I like all kinds of alphas, I like
It's
Madonna.
okay to be alpha.
It's cool. It's
How
cool to
about
be
for
strong.
straight white guys? It's like the worst time in the world for straight white guys. You know what I mean? Like they
Really? Oh my
can't
God.
being alpha is the worst thing in the world. You're racist, you're bigoted, you're homophobic. Like if you're Republican or conservative, it's insane. I want to hear from you the actual love and embracing that you're getting from conservatives because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you sleep with or how you identify yourself. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter when you're Republican or conservative. I know that it's completely different than what you dealt with, with Democrats and liberals. I just know it. And I just want to hear it from you.
It is different. It's different. When I came out of the closet, the Trump closet, I had to come out of the closet twice. Okay. The second time around, it's a history repeating itself. In the industry, I said I'm going to do what I want to do back then, and now it's the same thing now. They told me you're not going to make it if you come out as a Trump supporter. We're going to leave you. We're going to stop supporting you, Ricky. We're going to stop funding your career and stop my investor, my manager as well. They stopped. We'll support you as long as you don't talk openly positively about the president, about Trump. And I just couldn't do that. So I had to come out of the closet twice.
Wow.
And I did. And when I started hooking up with or meeting, with the minds of conservatives, it was just like a melding of minds coming together. It's like so amazing. When I did CPAC and I did all these events with
love, not hate, not people trying to define you or make you anything other than you want to be.
They love you just for, they love you for who you are. A lot of them believe in God. So it's like really nice because, I try to be kind in my life. I try to be a kind person. I think that's really beautiful when people have that side to them where they try to be spiritual and try to connect to love and the source of the universe. And that's what a lot of conservatives do. So I'm like, I naturally gravitate to people like that. All my life, I didn't understand why I was different than my friends in Hollywood. Like my young, I used to hang out with Adam Lambert. I used to hang out with all these kids and we go out and we dress up and go to nightclubs and stuff and dance. And they just got so dark. There were things that they did and things that they were into that I've never been attracted to. I've never been attracted to drugs. I've never been attracted to like a lot of things. And my friends would be like, God, Ricky, you're so like different. Why are you like that? You're so talented, but there's something holding you back. And I'm like, no, there's nothing holding me back, you guys.
Back to being dark and a drug addict.
Yeah. They thought it was like art. They thought it was like art to like spill oil over your body in like a gas mask and like right around like that. Oh, that's art.
I heard dark.
It's
I know you said
dark.
art, but I heard dark.
Yeah, I mean, they thought it was art. And I'm like, no, that's not art. That's from another source of energy or whatever. It's from another source that I don't tap into that. Like I tap into something else.
So you feel like you found a family and a home?
Absolutely. I did find a home of people that love America. That's my audience. Those are my people that appreciate the troops, appreciate the cops and everything they do for us, the Constitution, freedom of speech, the Second Amendment. Like, who knew that it would be me that would be the speaker of that message? Yeah. Like,
so I'm assuming you didn't think that. Where are you from originally, by the way?
I am from a small town in California called Upland, California, in the Inland Empire.
Interesting. So any background with law enforcement in your family?
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. My mother was a court reporter.
Okay.
So she used to take me every now and then. I'd go with her to work to watch her do her thing. And there'd be these like criminals there. And she'd tell me what they had done. Like they had done horrific things to people, like rape them, murder them. And you just look at they're just regular human beings. As a kid, I would see them in their orange jumpsuits and with their cuffs and stuff. And it just really taught me at a young age that, bad people exist. And I think that a lot of liberals try to go, no, I don't want to hear about child sex trafficking. I don't want to hear about, MS-13. Or ISIS. And they don't
Until it
They
happens
don't.
to them, until it touches their lives. It's sad we're in this society, Ricky, where if it doesn't happen to me, it doesn't exist. It doesn't matter.
So true, until they start rioting into their homes, and then they have a problem with it. It's sad. Um, so yeah, that's probably why I have that streak in me where I'm just like, I support the troops 100% and law and order for sure.
So take me to the streets of California where the whole looting and rioting and drama turns into M-A-G.
GA. Yeah.
M-A-G. How does that
AGA.
happen? Like, what on
Oh,
earth?
it was like, I don't know, like a cataclysm. What do you call it? Like cataclysmic moment or just serendipitous thing that just
Great.
happened that, you cannot write. It's like a movie, it's just like a movie. Um, we were at a protest. We were protesting Save the Children, hashtag Save the Children from child
Mhm.
sex trafficking. And we were also protesting the lockdown. California, we've had it. Like all the MAGAs in California, we're over it. Like we want to.
I can imagine. I mean, this is insane. We got
It's
kids going
freaking
back to school at the CDC live on my program saying they never said shut school down. Dr. Robert Redford.
wild.
I
What are we
know.
doing? What are we
I
doing? So we came out, and every Saturday we keep going in Beverly Hills. We keep protesting. So this is like the second Saturday that I went to. And there was a lot more Antifa that day, a lot more Antifa, a lot
oh
more
dear.
Black Lives Matter, and they're just as violent. I don't understand why people don't understand that. Like I know Trump needs to call BLM a terrorist organization too. They're both have terroristic tendencies, and they were getting wilder and wilder, and it just like punches started swinging, things started happening, and then the Trump Unity Bridge started to make its turn, and that's the bridge that my friend drives. His name is Rob, and it's like a big float for Trump and unity for everybody. And he loves my MAGA song. He loves the YMCA MAGA song, and he plays it all the time. And I saw it make the corner, and then all of a sudden I saw a bomb rush of people, Antifa and BLM and some MAGA people rushing the Unity Bridge. And they stopped it right in the middle of the road. And they started like pounding on the door, pounding on his window, shaking his Trump Unity Bridge like this, breaking things off. And I'm like, I walk right up to him, and he's scared. He's legitimately scared. And I said, play the track now.
Do it
Now.
now. Three,
And the
two,
cops are
one.
coming, one, and all of a sudden 3, 2, 1, and it was like lights, camera, action. And we just did it. And my friend like took video of it.
So where did that
Yeah,
come from? Where did it come from to go from YMCA to MAGA? Because it's genius.
it is genius. And it's the labor of a team of people that came up with this. The producers are Ricky Rebel, Jason
Mhm.
Fishbein, and Dee Dee Plorable. And the
That's
other
great.
singer, yeah, the other singers, he wants to be anonymous. Um, they came to me with this idea, and so we were like, okay, great, let's make this happen. And I got them in my studio, and I produced everything. I got all the singers. I got Joy Villa to
Mhm.
sing on it, Mindy Robinson. I got Tommy Joe Ratliff on guitar. He used to
Mhm.
work with Adam Lambert. And the Deplorable Choir, we specifically wanted really beautiful women with Ricky Rebel. It's like a cool, it goes. Ricky Rebel and beautiful women. It's just like a really beautiful combination. So we did that, and we recorded it in a day, and I produced it over and over and over and over again, different versions and different things. Like I worked really, a lot on it, and then I got a green screen, and they all made their little MAGAs in front of a green screen, and I edited it on my computer. I did all the editing, I did everything, and
Over 1 million views. Do we know how many at this moment?
over a million. Yeah, I think we're close. We have 2 million views on YouTube and close to 4 million on Facebook. Like, oh my
So here's what I
god!
want to know, Ricky Rebel. What do you say to folks? Because I know people who listen to my program who call in, LGBT folks who, basically are gay for Trump, and they face so much backlash. I mean, I get video. I just shared video this past weekend of, the, rainbow flag and pro-Trump and Democrats for Trump on the bumper sticker. And they're just being shouted down, and it's nasty and it's awful. And what's your message to them? Maybe of encouragement.
For your LGBT conservatives out there.
Yeah.
My
Our log
my
cabin
message,
Republicans who've been there a long time.
well, my message
And new
is
folks.
they need to understand, all the LGBT people need to understand that we live in a beautiful, free country where you can vote for whoever the hell you want to.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't ever let anybody pressure you or try to manipulate you into thinking that you're a bad person for how you vote. You're free to vote for whoever you want. And that's the thing that I don't like about the LGBT community, activists, radical
Yeah.
activists, okay?
Yeah.
Because I love the LGBT community. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the radical activists within the community who've taken it over. These people are saying that if you don't do that, if you vote for Trump, that you're somehow a traitor to the community. You're a bad person. You should be shunned. One of my friends, they said not to have sex with him. They wrote an article and they said, don't have sex with this guy because he votes for Trump. I mean, they're deliberately trying to, in my career, they've said, horrible things like they don't want to play my record. It's, I'm sorry, Ricky, we can't play your record in the clubs anymore. We can't, I'm sorry, I can't mix your record
These
anymore.
are all left-leaning Democrat liberals. Like, it needs to be set straight and clear that the narrative, this, we got to debunk this. Like, it's insane. I'm tired of it.
They're not liberals anymore. They're totalitarians. Okay? Liberals are what I am. I am a classical liberal. Okay? I go a little bit to the right. I go a little to the right, center, and sometimes I even lean left a little bit. That's why a new song is called American Rebel. It's out now, by the way. It's on everywhere. You can look it up. It's a great video, American Rebel. And in the song, I talk about I go right, I go left, I have no regrets. I mean, and I don't apologize for it. I'm a classical liberal in the sense that I love freedom of speech. Like, whatever happened to freedom of speech? All these liberals should be like, hey, they're free. They're free to say what they need to say.
Everyone should feel that way.
Instead, they're saying, no, don't you dare say that, or we're going to punish you. We're going to
cancel you.
Cancel you.
Culture.
Whoopsie.
Uh-oh. We just got canceled.
We just got canceled. See? That's them trying to cancel us.
We got canceled. It's over.
Twice.
Oh, no. You got to do
Give
it
us
twice.
a little more.
You must be
Sure.
a Gemini. All right. You did it twice.
Sagittarius. Close.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah. But yeah, they just want to cancel. They want to cancel you and punish you. And that's very unliberal.
Just by speaking whatever you want to speak. I mean, freedom of speech is quite literally in the Constitution of the United States of America. That's not a right. That's not a left. It's just quite literally being free in the United States of America.
It really is. And the fact that they were just like shutting people down. I remember I did a show with Milo Yiannopoulos. You know who that is?
Of
He's
course.
like,
come on. Who doesn't know?
Yeah. I mean, he's so funny and so smart. And he's like, Ricky, I really want you to come and perform with me in Hawaii. We can just hang out in the sun and we'll have a great time. And I'm like, okay, this is fun. So I was excited and we went down there and the show got canceled because there were death threats that they were saying they're going to bomb it.
Oh my God.
Literally.
Insane.
They shut it down. Like they wouldn't let us perform. And it's crazy. And all we wanted to do was just talk. We just want to talk to the community. We just want to talk to people and sing my songs. Like he's like, I really want you to sing. He loves me. I love him too. I'm really sad to see. I know that he said some things that I disagree with 100%, but what are you going to do? I mean, we should be like that with everybody. We should be like, you know what? We should see people not as like a singular event to define them. It's like we have multi-facets to us.
I always say if we agreed on everything, it'd be a really boring world.
Yeah.
It would be so boring if it would be so, like, come on. There's got to be diversity of thought and opinion. I mean, and it should be welcomed in the notion that it's being canceled is not okay. And I'm glad you're standing up for that. And I do have
Thank
to
you.
ask you what you think about the conservative and right who are skeptical of the gay community coming over to support the president and conservative values and ideas, because I do see that. I see parents concerned about what we're teaching our children, and I at the end of the day, I don't think gay marriage cheapens straight marriage, and so I think love is love. But what do you
Yeah.
say?
Well, I've had to wrestle with this idea. I've had
Yeah.
to really come, to my own conclusion or my own understanding of people and the situation at hand, and really kind of figure out, like, maybe, am I conservative? Like, I don't know. Can you be gay and conservative? That's a good question. I don't know. And I kind of explored it, and my man was like, well, of course you could be gay and conservative. That's a really dumb question, Ricky. I said, why? Why is that a dumb question? A lot of conservatives believe in God, and they think it's a sin, and they think that if you're a sinner, you can't. He's like, that has nothing to do with it. Conservative principles, you have to read the conservative principles, what they are. And I read them. I read a lot of conservative principles, and I said, oh, I agree with all of these. I'm like, but what
Mhm.
about the family part? And I asked my dad, I said, what about, supporting families? Like, you have a family, you have a
Who
family with
supports you?
Patrick. You have
Mhm.
a family with Patrick, and you have us, mother and father. You support your mother and father. You support your brother and his daughter, and I mean, everybody has a gay person in their family,
Most definitely in their life, if not in
in
their
their life.
family.
I
Yeah.
mean, everybody does. I
Maybe they're
mean,
not,
just
but they may not know in their family.
they don't know what's going on behind closed
Just
doors,
saying.
and maybe they
But
hide it well. But I'm saying everybody knows someone that they love is gay. It's like, get over it. And I think Republicans and conservatives really don't care. A lot of them, bulk of them,
look
just
at
don't
Barack
care.
Obama. It took him after his second term in office to embrace gay marriage. The notion that Biden is more pro, like LGBT or gay marriage than Trump is insane. Trump is the first president to run and say, I am embracing you. It's just,
He did. Remember, he held up the flag, and that's what I told a
yeah.
lot of the people, the really hardcore, like, paleo conservatives, and they don't like me. They come out, you're not a real conservative. And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter if you don't think I'm a conservative, because Trump thinks I'm a conservative. Trump held the gay flag up at his rallies. Okay, he held that flag up. So he didn't hold up a different flag. He held that flag up. So that meant a lot to me. That I was like, oh, cool. He's not afraid to do that as a Republican. That's really amazing. And then he went to the speech and said, I'm going to do whatever I can to protect the LGBT community from terrorists coming into our country, like ISIS, because he did that speech right around Pulse nightclub shooting. And he said,
Right.
I'm going to do whatever I can to help you, to protect you from ISIS. And that's a big concern of mine. That's a big concern of mine, and that's why I fought for, I voted for him. One of the reasons why: strong borders. I believe in strong borders. I believe in strong vetting so that Pulse nightclub doesn't happen again. And these gays don't understand it. They just think I think a lot of them have daddy issues.
You
I have dad
so
issues.
because he's
I
a
just say.
strong dad, is that an issue? You think maybe he's too
I think
alpha?
he
Getting
reminds
back to
them of
alpha,
he reminds them of their father that said
overbearing.
you weren't manly enough. You're too feminine. For
Ah,
me, they're rejected by the father. He reminds them of the football coach that made fun of them for how they walked. He reminds them of the boyfriend that was straighter than them and said, you're just too girly for me. I can't be with you. I'm sorry. So they're not smart enough to understand why in the back of their head, why they hate him so much. But I
but
understand why.
but yet he's embracing them no matter what he's saying or how he's acting or what he tweets. This
And
is great.
I see Trump a lot like my father, or a lot more like, he reminds me of my dad. He reminds me of my dad. It has a very um, strong sense of humor that he can cut you. He cuts like a knife with his sense of humor. He's very dry and just like, bam, he just gets right to the heart of it. And he's like, oh, that hurt, but it was so true. And I something, you know what
I didn't want to hear it, but I needed it.
I mean? Or like, or when my dad is like, doing something in my honor, as far as like trying to help me get like he'll go after somebody, you know,
Yeah.
he's mistreating me, and
Yeah.
that's the way
He's
I
mama
see.
bear in you. Yeah.
Yeah, he just like boom, he attacks them in a really strong, funny way, and I think that's how Trump does that. So
Interesting.
yeah.
All right, let's play this out with the MAGA. MAGA. You ready? All right, here we go.
AGA. MAGA.
Thank you, Ricky Rebel.
Thank you for having me. You're so sweet.
There it is.
The rebel leg, the rebel boots, conservatism.